Hello there, happy Thanksgiving.
Hi, happy Thanksgiving from me too.
Let's introduce ourselves. I'm Lou Lewis, I'm married to John. I was a singer-songwriter, now I work as a therapist, and we live in the UK. And John?
I'm John McMahon and I was a lecturer in alcohol and drug studies. I taught people to be alcohol and drug counsellors.
But we had secret lives. My secret life was that I lived with a problem drinker. We'd go off and do singing, and that would go really well, and then we'd come back and then he would binge. And so we had this whole secret life and this professional life. Mm-hmm. What about you?
My secret life was that when I was 34, I was in a psychiatric hospital, and I was told that I had liver damage, brain damage, and if I continued to take alcohol and drugs, then I would be dead within 6 months.
So now you've been clean and sober, as they say, for
32 years.
Mm. So there's a story there of despair and also a story of hope. We've kind of put this video together on this day because a day of celebration, I think, brings the whole issue often of problem drinking to some sort of head and crisis. Would you say?
Yeah. Yes. Celebrations are often looked forward to a wee bit with dread and also with anticipation, because it's not always clear how the drinker will behave at that time. Would you say that was true in your life? I mean, how was it for you at celebrations?
Well, again, it was really mixed. In some ways, there was a kind of a sense of relief because everybody was going to be doing what my husband was doing, and we kind of went through the charade, I suppose, looking back on it and talking about the drinking and discussing how much he was going to bring in and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, as is often the case, the evening then suddenly begins to turn. The switch is thrown, and suddenly it comes into the nightmare of his behaviour. And if you're out, he's drinking more than other people and becoming inappropriate. If you're in, there's stuff beginning to happen, picking fights, all these sorts of things. And so it starts off with hope and anticipation, and it ends up with discouragement, anger, and often despair. Which is why we're here, because we also know at this point that people search for help when they've known that desperation. Desperation is awful, but it can be a really good fuel for change. And if you're here, we just want to say that we have put this website together. We have a community of people who go through the same things that you are going through. As you see, we know what we're talking about, both through experience and our own lives, but also as professionals now. So you'll get experiential help, but also professional help. And so we just want to say we're here. We invite you to come. Tell us about the resources. You put this website together in terms of, he's the writer. So tell us what's there.
Well, there's a lot of things there. We have a programme which lasts for about 6 months, or longer, or shorter. It depends on you. But really, the first part of the programme is about looking after yourself. I think that's one of the things that we came to this website and realised there wasn't an awful lot of help for families. That's why we started the website in the first place. Because when we looked around, we saw that there was a lot of people who were in crisis, but to be honest, the services were not there to help them and support them through that crisis. So we thought, well, let us put something together. So we put this website together.
And whether you're you want to hold on, and we can facilitate you to do that. And one of the things I would say about living with a drinker for 30 years, it took me so long to recognise, because I knew my partner loved me, that some of the things that I was doing were great in a loving relationship, but actually making things worse when you live with a drinker. And so we want to shortcut that for you. We want to say you don't have to learn by your mistakes, because there are other people here who've done that for you.
But very often the advice that you'll get is get out, leave. And what that doesn't really take into account is the fact that there is still a lot of love left in the relationship. There may be drinking, there may be, real ambivalence about whether you should be in the relationship, whether you shouldn't be in the relationship, whether you like him, whether you hate him or her. But there's still a lot of love there. And we recognise that because we've been there. And what we try to do is we try to accept that, but show you a way that you can survive this relationship so that you can reduce the stress in the relationships, reduce the anger, the resentment, reduce all of that, and be at peace with yourself and with your drinker.
Yeah, that's really true. It's also true that you may need to let go. Can I say, if you're unsafe, if in any way you're going through a particularly physical abuse, but some psychological, emotional abuse and sexual abuse, obviously, then we say get out. Don't hold on there, let go, and get some help to let go if you need to. But if that isn't happening, it may be that you do need to let go, but to know that you have done your best to make the situation work will make letting go much easier. And I work a lot with couples, and I just say, things may be bad and maybe you need to separate, but let's just make sure that we've looked at the things we can do. Let's make sure we come out of this knowing that we've done the best we can. So whether you want to hold on or whether you want to let go with integrity, then we would invite you to join us. It is Ron.
We give you a menu of tools that empower you to make a decision based on your strength and your wants and your needs, rather than desperation, rather than from powerlessness. We give the decision back into your hands rather than take it away from you.
Yeah, and as you see, we made a decision early on with some feedback from the members of our community that we are who we are. We don't script this. We don't make it. We don't perform it.
That's
pretty
probably
obvious.
Fairly obvious by now.
We just turn up and we are ourselves, and we do this in the community on a regular basis. We're interacting, and there's a forum. So we want it not just to be information and a kind of a work program for you to go through, but an interactive community. And
we want to feel as if we want you to feel as if you were sitting on the couch with us and chatting with us, and we're just sharing our experience. It's not a formal relationship here. It's an informal relationship because we're all sort of same level.
Yeah, and as we say, change your life for the price of a cup of coffee. We have kept the fee down, membership fee down to absolute minimum, and as therapists we can say that hand on heart. So we hope that the small amount that just keeps the website maintained is not a barrier. Please get help. Come join us. You are very, very welcome. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye there.